Well, the IDF has been saying that in an overnight airstrike in the Gaza Strip, the head of Hamas's aerial array, Murad Abu, has been killed. The strike targeted the headquarters from which the terror group managed its aerial activity, according to the Israeli Defense Forces. And they have released a video of Hamas's attack on civilians as well. But the Israeli Defense Forces say that they had killed a senior member of the Hamas terror group in an overnight airstrike in the Gaza Strip. And the strike targeting the headquarters from which the terror group managed its aerial activity has killed Murad Abu, who is said to be the head of Hamas's aerial array, according to the IDF. Let me go across now to Pradeep, who is joining us live from Israel. Pradeep, the counter-offensive, and that has escalated on Israel's side. They have been now pinpointing and identifying those locations from where the terror activity was operated by Hamas.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Pointed and attack with the precision is continuing. We have seen that it was last Saturday, it was the people from Hamas who entered inside Israeli territory and they committed brutality and barbarism. And now it's a term for the Israel to avenge killing of each and every citizen. We have seen that airstrike is continuing. A big jolt for Hamas. The man who had been looking after the aerial activity, the senior most commander who was inside the Gaza, Murad Abu, had been killed in airstrike yesterday. Besides this, they also conducted airstrike at several other places in Gaza, targeting the headquarters of Nukba also. When we talk about Nukba are the same people who had launched infiltration on the very first day. It was on the last Saturday at about 6:30 a.m. after the rocket attack. So they have targeted Nukba. They have killed Murad Abu. So that way it's a big success for Israeli forces, because they are continuing with their punitive offensive. They want to avenge killing of each and every citizen. And meanwhile, they have even asked the Palestinians to leave their homes. They had given them 24-hour ultimatum. That is over. But it was too less a time for each and every person to leave, because it's not easy for half of the population to leave their homes. And besides this, what actually IDF officials during the recent press media briefing, he said that how the Hamas is stopping them from going out of their homes because Hamas doesn't want them to leave. The reason is obvious, because Hamas had always been hiding behind the population, using them as human shields. And they know that once there will be civilian casualty, they will be able to portray Israeli forces in a bad light, demonize them, and try to prove before the world that they are occupational forces who are killing innocent unarmed civilians. But I don't think that now their lie has got any legs. Reason being that the world community has already seen those barbaric and brutal videos where they have not even spared women and children. They were burnt, they were beheaded. As Kafar Aza area, we saw that how 40 children were beheaded, and even slit throat of many of the women. They killed women, mothers in front of their children, children in front of their mother. So that's one of the reasons that a statement has come from the United States of America President Joe Biden. He has said that their brutality is so much that even Al-Qaeda looks lesser evil. Looks pure before them, because they are the pure evil, because the way they had tried to target humanity in such a brutal and barbaric manner, because that's one of the reasons that the world community has united and they want that action to be initiated against Hamas. But yes, Israeli forces do not want any kind of a collateral damage. That's one of the reasons that they ask people to leave. Some of them have already started fleeing to the different places where the bombs can't reach. But it's not going to be that easy, because at the end of the day, war hardly brings any good news. It's always the people on both the sides who have suffered. We have seen the civilians suffering on the Israeli side, and that was action that was initiated by terror group Hamas. And now the civilians on the other side too suffer equally when they will be initiating action, because most of their hideouts are underneath the residential areas. So they do not want that these people should leave. And already we have seen that some people had been, they have started playing politics, whether they are the political class here in India or in different parts of the world. They want to project these villains as victims, and they want to portray the victims as occupational force. That's what they had been doing, and they want to play that political card for the vested interest. But reality is that the humanity has suffered. We have seen how those children lost their lives, the women lost their lives. They did not spare anyone. Still 120 people are held captive, and that's one of the reasons that now the pressure is building upon both Israel as well as other countries whose nationals are being held hostage by Hamas terrorists. One, they want that Hamas terrorists to release them. If they are not going going to release them. They will make all of the efforts to ensure that each one of them is already saved. Though some countries are trying to play a role of a mediator. Yesterday there was a very important meeting between S. Jaishankar, the Indian foreign minister, and his counterpart from Saudi Arabia, because they feel that now we have seen the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Israel has normalized to an extent, but it would have been better had this operation not taken place, because there are certain forces who do not want the better relationship between the Arab world and Israel, because they always wanted to scuttle that kind of a peace process. So they know that once there is a peace between these countries, they will hardly have any influence, that they will not be able to play the role they had been playing. Just for their own politics, just for their own, having their own strategic assets in that area, they're also playing politics. But I think this is a high time they should think about the humanity rather than trying to play politics over the issue. And we have seen that the counteroffensive has already started. We were in area close to Gaza. We saw that how the tank movement has started, how the trenches have been dug, how the artillery guns have trained their mouths towards the Gaza area where these Hamas terrorists are said to be hiding.
Right.
But now the one thing that is going to be deciding factor will be when the ground assault will take place and the Israeli troops will be entering inside Gaza.
It's given by the IDF, because there has been a big claim there. You can see on your screens as what the IDF, what the Israeli Defense Forces have been claiming, saying that there are 120 civilians that have been held captive. The Israeli Defense Forces say in this latest update that as of this time, the IDF confirms that 120 civilians are being held captive in Gaza by Hamas terror organization. Pradeep, thank you very much. We'll return with further developments.